How to integrate historical events into fictional game settings authentically. Research deeply for accuracy. Before integrating historical events into a fictional setting, thorough research is essential. Understanding key figures, cultural contexts, and significant moments helps create an authentic foundation. Using primary sources like letters, maps, and first-hand accounts ensures accuracy. Even in a fictional world, grounding events in real history makes the game more immersive and believable. Adapt events without losing essence. While historical events can be reimagined, their core themes should remain intact. If a game alters a real battle or political shift, the changes should feel plausible within the world's logic. Players should recognize the historical inspiration even if the setting is fantasy or sci-fi. Staying true to historical dynamics maintains authenticity while allowing creative freedom. Weave history into the world building. History should be naturally embedded in the game's environment, lore, and culture. Ruined cities, ancient texts, and monuments can reference past events. NPCs might share stories about historical conflicts or legends based on real-world events. These subtle details make the world feel lived in and historically rich, rather than forcing history into the narrative awkwardly. Reflect real-world consequences. Historical events often have lasting effects, such as cultural shifts, technological advancements, or political upheavals. Fictional games should mirror these consequences. If a war took place, how did it reshape the world? If a historical ruler inspired a character, how did their policies influence society? These elements make the setting feel dynamic and connected to its past. Balance fiction with realism. Even in alternate histories or fantasy settings, historical logic should remain consistent. If a game is inspired by the Roman Empire, for example, its military structure, architecture, and governance should resemble Rome's. Deviating too far from historical logic can make the world feel disjointed. A balance between creative storytelling and realism ensures an engaging yet believable experience. Use historical figures as inspiration. Instead of directly inserting real figures, games can create characters influenced by historical personalities. A fictional ruler might share traits with Napoleon, or a revolutionary leader could be inspired by Joan of Arc. This approach allows for historical depth without being constrained by real-life details. It also provides room for unique storytelling while keeping characters relatable. Show multiple perspectives. History is rarely one-sided, and games should reflect that complexity. Instead of presenting a single viewpoint, multiple factions, ideologies, or interpretations of past events can add depth. Players should encounter characters with different perspectives on historical conflicts, just as real people did. This approach makes the setting feel more authentic and thought-provoking. Use historical events to drive gameplay. History should influence gameplay, not just the background story. If a game is inspired by the Industrial Revolution, technological progress could affect the mechanics. If it's set in a fictionalized medieval war, real battle tactics from history could shape combat strategies. Integrating history into gameplay ensures that it feels meaningful rather than just aesthetic decoration. Respect cultural and ethical sensitivities. When adapting real historical events, it's crucial to approach them with respect. Certain topics, such as colonization or wars, should be handled thoughtfully to avoid misrepresentation. Consulting historians or cultural experts can help ensure authenticity and avoid controversy. A respectful approach not only enhances credibility but also enriches the game's storytelling.